This one's such a fun one for me, you guys. We have Sunny Laprade on the episode. I have known her for a really long time. I actually knew her when she was 15 before she transitioned, and we did open mics together. And so seeing Sunny succeeding in comedy with her comedy special and all her viral clips on TikTok, I'm so proud of her. It feels gay to say. Don't worry, I didn't say it to her. She'll hear it here. But it's really lovely. And she gets into a date that she went on that she could just tell the person totally was disinterested in her. And it's a great, great episode. A good dose of rejection for everyone to feel, more seen. It happens to the best of us. So yeah, and patreon.com/WHGS for bonus. You guys keep this going, and I can't thank you enough. And if you're not donating, you are actively my enemy. You actively hurt me. And I'm asking you to stop. Stop crossing my boundary. Stop gaslighting me into making you a free podcast. It's unhealthy. It's toxic. We are in a toxic relationship unless you give me $1. My therapist told me to tell you this. And I think your therapist will agree. Patreon.com/WHWS.
WHWS.
WHGS. Be sure to check out the other podcast.
WNWY.
Donate to that one too. We will take your money. And then as always, tour dates. Okay, enjoy. Listener, I'm so excited to be partnering with Hump Film Festival. It's Dan Savage's Hump. It's a lovingly curated festival of short erotic films made by real people for real people. Dan Savage's Hump is celebrating its 20th anniversary. And if you're looking for ethical content, it's the place for you. And it has something for everyone. Hump's 2025 spring lineup featuring 23 all-new, hot, hilarious, deeply humanizing short films is touring more than 40 cities through May, including LA, DC, New York, I'm going to be there, Philadelphia, and Atlanta. Get your tickets or stream on demand at humpfilmfest.com. Use promo code SEX at checkout for 10% off tickets or streaming passes.
We've been together for a while. They're great. I remember there was a time, probably a year ago, when we went to a party together and someone who lived at the house party was had my dead name, and my partner didn't tell me that was going to happen, but they knew. And I remember being like, why didn't you tell me about that? And they were like, oh, well, because I thought you would think it was funny. And I was like, dude, you're so right. And I did think it was, super funny.
There's a lot to discuss, but I think the first thing is my denim. Oh, listener at home, yeah. I am. Wow, you guys are weirdly silent for how much everyone brought it up.
Bad. Sorry.
Everyone brought it up earlier.
I was letting you talk.
Okay, fine.
You said not to riff about the denim. You said, no, I'm just being a good listener.
And now we're just sitting here.
I said don't riff about the denim before the show because the riffs were too good on the denim.
Okay. You just said don't riff about the denim, to be clear.
I'm not into silencing women, so I was going to let you talk.
This is just Canadian solidarity with everything that's going on in the world.
That's fair. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's what I brought to the podcast. I brought a Canadian Cuck-xedo.
A Canadian
Cuck-xedo is great.
I've been eating so much poutine. It's fucked up. But,
oh my God. Really? Poutine?
No, not at all.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It makes me so horrifically gassy, but I have to stand with my French-Canadian brethren.
You gotta eat
poutine.
You gotta eat poutine.
Poutine. Oh, yeah. Oh, and big time.
Sorry, I'm trying to come up with what the definition of Cuck-xedo would be. Is that your birthday suit while you're getting cucked? Emma has a riff.
It's like you're fully dressed in a tuxedo.
Oh, you're fully very good, yeah. Emma. That's my
I feel
good,
Emma. Cuck-xedo is what a Midwestern dad calls the cuck chair. Cuck-xedo.
2 excellent riffs.
Thank you.
Cuck-xedo is me when I like watching someone I love get fucked by another person.
That's just cucking. Maybe they're in black tie while they
But
do
maybe
it.
I'm in a tuxedo.
Yeah.
You're really getting next level with this.
Well, the point is that I thrifted this Carhartt denim vest.
Let's go.
Then I ordered these Carhartt denim jeans.
Please don't cancel her for that. She is just a human at the end of the day.
Wait, why would you get canceled for
not thrifting the box.
For not thrifting.
Oh, and God forbid a rich lesbian doesn't thrift.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Rich lesbian's good.
Thank you.
That's the rebrand.
No, it is not. That is not the rebrand.
Modest lesbian.
Modest. Also,
Smart.
rich is stretching it. I'm rich compared to you guys.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Most
You're not
homeless
rich compared
people.
to Elon Musk, but like that's crazy.
Well,
to
you
say
picked
it
the
like
richest
that.
person in the world.
His
Anyway,
stocks are falling.
the point is,
Dude, Ashley stocks are rising. Elon stocks are falling. There's going to be a moment.
where
There's gonna
they
be a
intersect.
switch. Yeah.
Elon would have to fall so far for our net worths to get anywhere near
Or
each other.
you could just hit it big.
Oh, there's no way.
I'm an idea. You should make a car that flies.
Thank you,
Whoa.
Kylie.
Whoa.
Okay. You are out of control today.
I started Wellbutrin recently, so I've been a happy.
There it is. There it is. I was like, you just made two of the worst riffs I've ever heard on the
Gotta be
podcast.
antidepressants. It's gotta be antidepressants.
No, but I love that you're here, Kylie. Thank you for being here. I
Sorry
excuse
that
the
I
bad
ruined
riffs. But I ordered these online, and I'm a little pissed. I tried to get these denims to match, but they're not the same wash. I really tried to get the same
when I
wash,
did
and then the
enter-
thread is a different thread.
And that would be excusable if you had thrifted it, but you
It's
you're a
did
rich
that, you did
inexcusable.
that really intentionally.
But I'm a rich lesbian. Well, I didn't realize it when I
Rich lesbians should have the same color wash every time.
exactly. Rich lesbians should.
Yeah.
But what the other question is, am I pulling it off?
No, when I walked in, I was like, oh, that's a set she bought.
Really?
Yes.
Emma's nodding.
I wouldn't have guessed that they were different if you hadn't pointed it out.
That's a different question, Sonny, and you know it.
Okay.
The
I
question
think-
was,
I
am
think
I
that
pulling it off?
I personally
That's a no. That's a
have-
hard no.
It is a hard. I'm sorry. I've never liked denim on denim. If you are doing denim on denim, they have to be like different colors, and not in the same way that those are different colors. Like they can't both be blue.
You want me to go put on a pair of light wash jeans?
No, like brown or black.
Black jeans.
So not
white.
jeans at all.
But denim is fine,
So then
but it
that's
can't
not
both be
denim
blue.
on denim.
There's
Are you okay? Do you need a
brown
glass
denim.
of water, Emma? Emma is choking.
Emma,
Just
go get some water.
go get some water, Emma.
I tend to have this effect on women. They-
Choking?
Yeah, they choke.
Yeah.
That makes
And it's-
Awesome.
Sorry, it had to be done.
yeah.
Sonny's trans.
Big time. And trans people love choking women. That's I think where that riff was going.
Sunny with a chance of trans.
Sunny with the chance of
Wow.
yeah, Sunny with it. I mean, I feel like Sunny with the chance of meat and balls was right there.
But I don't think I could say that. I think
I don't
Noodles
know.
and
She
meat-
just pointed into the
noodle and-
camera and said she's trans, so I feel like we're good.
that's what conservatives
Um,
think the reboot is of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Cloudy with a Chance
And it
of
is. Have you seen the storyboard? It's trans as fuck. The spray on shoes, it's a packer
The
now.
spray on the shoes.
Wow. Deep
lore.
cut from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
And God forbid, a trans woman watches Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah, Ashley, real nice.
Oh, so
Trying to get your reputation back. This ain't it, honey.
Well, anyway, thank you for being here.
Yeah. thank
Sonny
you for having me.
Laprade,
That's my name.
comedian.
And that is my occupation.
And I know I've known you a really long time. I know
Yeah.
we weren't like super close or anything, but
it would have been weird if we were, because I was
Yes.
15.
yeah. So I feel like a special connection to you because you used to go to these open mics that I went to when you were a child.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I remember it was really fun because your dad would come.
Yep.
And I remember you getting on stage and like, you could just really tell that you were a child.
That I was a kid. Yeah, no, absolutely. I do think if you had told me when I was 15 that in like 10 years I would be doing a podcast with you where we talk about gay sex, I would be like, oh, so I was gay. And then you'd be like, you're a lesbian actually. And I'd be like, now hold on. I feel like most of my jokes at the time were like, I think I'm something. I've got to be a little bi or something.
I don't remember your jokes.
No one does. Me, I remember them.
Because I didn't clock you, and I am like sort of embarrassed for that
Do you
because
feel like-
clocking children is one of my favorite things to do.
I've seen it.
Here's the
Yeah.
gay agenda the Republicans are worried about.
Sunny, do you feel like because you started stand up as a teenager, that's what made you trans?
No, I think that what makes
That's why I'm only gay.
yeah, dude. It's
Had
'cause
I
you
just
started
started
too
a
late.
little bit
Yeah, yeah.
earlier, I would have been trans.
They warn you in the doctor's office even.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
You have a
of
special
course.
on YouTube.
I do.
Plug
yes. I have a stand-up special on YouTube called Queer Enough. It came out like 3 years ago, and a lot of it was about how I thought I was attracted to men, and now I'm not. And sometimes you make a special that's like, this is a definitive like proclamation of my identity, and you are 21 years old, and then your identity changes a little bit.
Totally.
Yeah.
So when did you come out? Because, I didn't know
Yeah.
until years later, and you like seemed done.
Cooked.
I really saw you at 0 to 100
I seemed done when?
when I saw you again.
Yeah. Which was when?
Maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah. I came out, there's like 7 times. I came out in like at the very end of 2018, I came out as bisexual. But I had been like talking about it on stage since I was like 15. I love to be like, I was so closeted, no one knew. And then I watched a video from the first time I ever did stand up, and so much of it was like, what if guys are hot? So
Your
I came,
dad's like, woo!
yeah, no, literally. So I came out as bi at 18. And then I was a bisexual guy who painted his nails and had a girlfriend and exclusively slept with women for like a while. I was an op. Like that's the worst thing you can be, I think.
Not the fingernails. I mean, God.
No, painted truly every day. I have like a whole like rainbow of nail polish in my room that I don't use anymore.
Jen and I, like when the nail polish was really big, like probably around the time you were painting your nails, we experimented with me painting my nails like a guy would paint his nails.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think
Do you want to unpack that at all?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Well, because I always like playing around, like when I see men experimenting with their femininity, like straight men
Sound it out.
experimenting.
Women aren't funny.
It makes me want to be like, oh, like, is that gonna highlight my like masculine side, or is that gonna like look weird on me?
Yeah.
And so I like play around with that stuff all the time, and sometimes I'm like, nope, like way too femme or way too mask. We put one nail on, and I think Jen and I were both like, I have the ick, and immediately we took it off.
You were doing acrylics?
No.
You said put a nail on.
Ashley with
I
acrylics
painted
would
one
be
nail.
Okay,
Excuse
okay.
me. This is how masculine I am.
Got it.
Could
Yeah.
you imagine
I
if
put my
this
nail
bitch
on.
had like acrylic nails fucking tapped in the desk? You'd be powerful.
No,
It's
that's
scary.
awesome. They are, I don't know if you've ever been to Northampton, Massachusetts, but they
I
are
have.
pioneering some weird lesbian shit out there. And there are butch women with like long ass acrylics in ways that I've never imagined
That's
before.
sick.
It's
How are they
kinda
fingering?
awesome.
Maybe they
don't
like
know.
it that way.
No.
Why not?
Anyway, so you came out.
I came out as bi at like 18, and then we're actually coming up on like the 5-year anniversary of me coming out as like some kind of trans. I was like
some kind of trans.
yeah, like right.
That's what I say, when I see one walking down the street.
That's some guy's one of them.
That's some kind of trans. Not bad.
Yeah, I came out as like a he they like right before my 20th birthday, and then it was like I did he they, they, he, they, them, they, she, they, she, her. I did like the whole gauntlet.
Did
Interesting.
you-
The order I didn't know.
Did you
mattered.
let people know about the order as it happened, or
I
was there a
kept, like-
point where you were
I kept,
I
updating
suck?
my bio, you know? I like wasn't like having conversations about
It was
it.
just Meta that knows the
No.
timeline.
Yeah, no, for real. And my whole
That's why they instituted it, to keep track of trans people.
Yeah.
To keep track
Oh
of the
my
number of
God.
people
It's a database, actually.
transitioning.
We're fucked.
and now it's like my whole fucking TikTok page is like an archive of just the most embarrassing a person can be, which is a he they. And
It does sound like on the male part of your journey, you were just the most annoying men in Brooklyn for a while.
I was awful. I lived in like Elliott Smith's old house. And
Oh my God. And I
was
bet you
like,
wouldn't stop telling people that.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you've clocked the like Elliott Smith inspired tattoo, but I was like deep. And so I was the worst man alive for like a little while. And then so I came out as he they in what, like March or April of 2020. And then I started hormones in November 2021, and the day that I started hormones, they came out of my bio. I was like, I'm done fucking around. And I've been she, her ever since, but then I was like bi for a while. And then, but like I never really acted on it. I went on one date with a man and it was really bad. And it was really bad because of me. It wasn't anything he did. Like I was just awful.
I kind of want to hear that story.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell it right this second, but
Yeah,
maybe
you can-
after I tell mine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh,
Thank you
okay,
for
can go
sharing
first.
everything, by
No,
the
it's
way.
okay. And then I came out as a lesbian, God, I don't know, like maybe 2022 at some point. And when I told my mom that I was a lesbian, she went, fuck, do I have to learn about softball? And yeah, I've been doing the thing ever since.
That's
You're pretty.
awesome.
I'm pretty ducky.
Wait,
Yeah.
And at that point where they like, you didn't need to like come out again.
I didn't really like I stopped telling people things
Yeah,
after a while.
Just the Instagram bio.
Just the Instagram bio. But then I had gone through like a really big breakup, and my mom was visiting and was like, so like, who are you interested in now? And I was like, I think only women. And then she was like, you made such a big deal out of being bisexual. And I'm like,
oh my God.
and didn't we all?
Isn't it
And didn't
so
we all?
tough to be queer and know how annoying you actually are?
Yeah.
It is
It-
the worst.
It sucks because we are annoying. Like,
Yeah.
it is annoying to go through this process and tell people about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it really feels like it's like conservatives love to be like, I wish that gay people wouldn't make it their whole personality. And I'm like, that's fucked up and homophobic. I do get it.
Yeah,
I get
no,
it.
100. Well, I actually have this joke about how everyone makes all their things their whole personality. It's
Yeah.
just like when you see gay people, like it's just one that you haven't encountered before. You don't know the gay culture.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you're going through a process that's considered normal and it's simpler when you're straight, right? Like
Yep.
it's just simpler, but they're all doing it. They're going through it too.
Straight people are so loud about
Straight
being
people
straight.
make
Yeah.
being straight everything. They go to like clubs and have money.
Well,
Yeah.
and prom and your first kiss and like your first
Yeah.
date and
Yeah.
like rounding the bases, like all that is straight talk.
Big time.
But
Big time.
they're
And it
Crazy
just
weddings.
sucks. And here's the thing, when you do it as a kid, that's dignified. That's the time where you're supposed to be experiencing those things for the first time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Coming out as an adult, having your first kiss, losing your virginity, and having to tell other people about it as an adult does look like attention-seeking behavior.
Yeah.
Like it is so annoying.
I mean, I think that attention-seeking behavior is a really nice way to talk about losing your virginity as an adult and not being a huge fucking virgin loser.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, some of us were gay and had lost our virginity in high school.
I also feel like
Yeah, I lost my gay virginity at 15.
that's why you think that, because you like grew up around here. People had to move from Ohio
No, it was a
to
secret.
be gay.
It was a secret. My relationship was a secret.
but
Right,
not with yourself.
Where was it a secret?
No, even with myself.
Really?
With myself, I was like, one
I
day,
thought you were born gay. I'm so confused.
I was so afraid of being gay, knowing that I was attracted to women. I was like, I am attracted to women, and come hell or fucking high water, I'm going to find a man that I am attracted
That's
to.
so funny to think about you. With
And
a
in the
man.
meantime, I'm gonna fuck these women.
Yeah, right. Just
Wait,
to tide me over.
there he is.
No,
But
big time.
one day, I'm gonna find him. And trust me, I was looking and trying.
And he's gonna look a
and
lot like a woman.
Right,
and
and
that man will
might-
be Sunny.
Yeah, exactly.
My
If not for the age difference, we would have had a beautiful life together.
yeah.
Yeah.
when my ex and I broke up, and then we like started dating pre-transition, and then I saw her new boyfriend, and I was like, she did it again.
Oh shit!
Like, I'm sorry,
People say that.
but I've never been more sure that someone is a woman than my ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend.
I want to talk about
awesome.
probably something not PC to talk about, but I want to talk about Transdar.
Oh yeah,
That's definitely we have not talked about Transdar on the
I don't
the
even know what
podcast.
Transdar is.
Like
It's like
gaydar,
gaydar.
but for trans people.
Oh, like it's not an app.
It is
Where
an
you
app
can
that
track
Trump
down
put, and
trans
Elon
people.
Musk built an app called Transdar.
Yeah.
It is using the data from Meta, the pronoun data.
And it keeps exploding. Dude,
You can change your pronouns on there too. Whatever you want.
Can I tell? I gotta tell my story.
Yeah,
It's
tell
not
your
much of a story. We can really. I've been getting rejected a fair amount.
Boo.
Boo.
boo, I guess.
I can't believe
people
that.
aren't allowed to say no.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah,
Come
that's the
harass.
angle. That's the angle I had on that.
I came in here and I was like, how do I get Ashley canceled again?
It is so easy. Clip any of this. Is anyone paying attention?
Hello.
Well, let me get into the rejection. I definitely put it, I'm in an open relationship.
Yeah.
So I definitely put it out more than maybe I probably should. I take risks that maybe I
Put
wouldn't.
it out. Like
Like,
are you
if I'm
like the sex slave, I put out like
no. I mean, yeah, I guess that too. But what I'm trying to say is like, I will take a risk on a horrible, I'm not going to be able to pick this person up. I'm not going to be able to impress this person, but I'm going to go in and try and get her number. Because if I'm rejected, I go home to my beautiful, perfect girlfriend.
I do think that being in an open relationship makes it so that like when you are trying to sleep with other people, you are trying to like punch above your weight class more.
That was not what I said, but I think that's a fair way to interpret it. I am just reaching for the stars.
that was ChatGPT like adjusting what you should think.
Hey, Ugo. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
really punching. But I had three occasions where I have been rejected recently, kind of almost back to back. And I would say I'm on a cold streak.
Okay.
I would say I'm on a cold
What
streak.
were they like? Were they all like sweet or were they all like mean about it? Did they scream?
Was it
say-
happening in person?
All of them happened in person.
Tough.
They are all
to face?
they are
Face-to-face.
all pretty bad.
Okay.
The first one was a girl at Sunday school who is straight, but was wingmanning for her gay friend by going on a date with this tiny little butch kid. And I was like, so are you even interested in this woman that you're like on this date with? And she was like, no, I'm straight. And I was like, oh, that's like really misleading and rude to do this.
That feels slightly
Person.
evil.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does feel slightly evil. And I found that attractive, of course. And
Of course.
I was like,
evil.
you're totally not gay. She's like, I've made out with girls, and I was like, perfect. I can
work with that.
I can work with
Perfect.
that. So I said, well, if you'd like to like make out with another one, why don't you DM me?
Mm-hmm.
and I never received a DM. So
But what did she say in person?
she,
Were you on stage when you said this?
God no.
Okay.
Yeah, she clipped it up. Go check it out. Like and subscribe.
Ashley Gavin sexually assaults straight woman.
Harasses. Give yourself some credit.
The internet.
They'd spin it.
So that was number one. She was sort of like, oh, okay. But in this sort of way that I was like, I don't think that was going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. Number two, I have been just in an endless text loop with this woman that I met probably a year ago.
Got it.
It just won't. She texts me sometimes out of the blue.
I feel like your
Yeah.
version of rejection is not my version of rejection. You're talking to these people
Your version of rejection is like, so I have friends.
back and forth.
I have this friend that we talk to occasionally.
Well, I just don't know what to do with her because
I don't know what to do with her.
every time I'm like, we just never, I don't know what her texting habits are. We just can never seem to text each other in an appropriate amount of time to set the date. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just can't. I think our last communication was me being like, what train? You know what? Let me check.
Oh,
This is actually
the
pretty
receipts
interesting.
are
Yeah.
coming out.
We've all had that though. Like someone that you match with on like 3 dating apps over the period of 3 years.
Yes.
And then you're always like, we'll meet up eventually. And then one of you gets too drunk
Yeah.
and then you don't hang out that night and then
Right.
you don't talk for a year.
And especially because we're all over the place. Sometimes you'll only like potentially see someone like that's new. And I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I'd rather hang out with my friends that I know.
I do feel like I'm like that most of the time.
Oh, fuck.
Oh shit.
She did respond.
Ashley, I knew that you were full of crap.
Fuck.
Did you just miss the
Shit.
text?
I missed the text.
I
So
hate
in
to
the
say it, but
second
that's
one-
on you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's on you.
So your rejection stories are actually you are rejecting them.
No, the first one rejected me. This girl I accidentally rejected. And if you're listening right now, I'm sorry.
Is she a Patreon subscriber? Hey, shout out.
That's
Thanks
one
for
of the
joining Patreon.
perks, actually.
One
is-
of the tiers is that you can text with me and I'll just eventually stop replying.
Yeah, big time.
And then I'll talk about it on exclusively my Patreon.
Mhm.
But the last one, which was really the one you gotta hear,
Yeah.
is I was hanging out at a bar and the group of British people.
Mhm. the nice word.
What's the bad
I
word?
don't know. Saying British people just makes it sound like you were gonna say a slur and decided not to.
Yeah, what
Um,
even
some-
is the slur for British people?
Well, I'm trying to think of like what you would call a horde.
Crumpets, a bunch of
Crumpet- a
A
bunch of
crumpet,
crumpets.
a crumpet
Yeah.
of British people.
Yeah.
Oh, wankers. Bunch of wankers.
I
Yeah,
was
big
talking.
time.
I was talking to 4, and I was trying to figure out their sexualities because they're at this gay bar. I'm like not really sure.
You're
Yeah.
not sure because they have English accents.
Yes.
Yeah, and the state of gay bars is weird.
Yeah.
I saw. I was at Stonewall for a friend's birthday,
Mm.
and there was a group of guys in the corner not dancing, watching the Lions game on their phone.
Straight.
And then I saw a group of women go up to them, and I saw the men explaining football to this group of women, and I was like, am I really about to watch
A Stonewall.
a straight guy pick up a woman at Stonewall where the first brick was thrown?
Well, if you truly want gender and sexuality be considered on a spectrum, that's what you're gonna have to
No,
accept.
it's their behavior though.
I'm messing
It's just coming with different
No, no, no.
behavior. Don't be
I am-
watching football.
I know. And listen, I think that football is appropriate at fucking Henrietta's or whatever, but at Stonewall, that's for the men. That's for the gay men who shouldn't be watching football. I'm not into spectrums. I'm into strict binaries, which is gay guys can't watch football. Gay women can only watch football. And if you're a gay woman, you have to be butch. And that's it.
Yeah, the femmes are canceled.
Sorry, if you're a femme, you're straight.
and that's fine with me.
Yeah, it is. It really is fine because
It's-
you guys are shaky on that.
Well, I was talking and then I figured out that the girl that I was interested was bisexual and I was like
Okay.
very, very cool. And I had I had this one interaction. I'm about to leave. I need to go home. And I have this one moment to shoot my shot and I didn't do it. And I was like, fuck you, like fuck. And I saw them leaving. And I went up the stairs after them and she's going out the door and I just yell, hey, DM me.
Tough.
And she goes,
Had she gotten your Instagram?
she knew. Cut.
You put down the mic for that? Come on. Don't be weak. Say it into the mic.
Yeah, make eye contact with the camera.
Own it like that set you're wearing.
Yeah, rock it like the tuxedo.
Yeah.
The Cuck-xedo.
The Cuck-xedo. You're being a
I do
Cuck-xedo
feel
right
that
now.
I am in a Cuck-xedo right now. She knew who I was. I am not proud. She said, I will. And then I never heard from her.
See,
Got it.
I was thinking though, like that's tough, obviously. Remember my video with the
Oh, yeah, I remember it. Listener, if
I
you
called
didn't
them.
watch the video of Kylie calling the beautiful girl at the Photoshop to ask her out.
I was like, you're so
On the
beautiful.
podcast?
I recorded it on like my webcam. Actually, people felt differently about the fact that I recorded that phone conversation.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a violation of privacy. I'm not going to lie. I love you, Kylie. I think as an artist, do whatever you want to do. I will warn you that might
As an
be
artist,
I don't even know how much of a violation of privacy it is as much as like
calling their business.
separation of church and state, man. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not like using dating for content in that way. Like,
What's wrong with that?
Using dating for content is fine.
Yeah.
Using dating for content is fine, but like recording the dates.
The recording of the
Me asking
interaction
them out.
itself rather than telling a story about the interaction feels different.
Whenever I see like couples TikTokers
And I love you.
or whatever.
And I love you. But the thing was, I recorded it because I was hyping myself up. And then so I sent it to my friend. And then you guys were like, can we put it on the podcast? And I was like, yeah, fuck it. I have no fucking
Is
morals.
that what happened?
Don't look at me. I wasn't here.
I thought you put it on your Instagram first.
It was on my story at one point. Yeah.
Okay,
wait, hold
Stories
on.
disappear.
Hold on.
Stories disappear.
I think that if I did that, I would then be worried that the girl from the Photoshop would see the Instagram story. And I do think that there's nothing more humiliating than having that girl already know that you strike out and then seeing that you recorded yourself striking out.
Okay, yes. And here's the thing. I've gotten a lot of feedback lately from the pod. Hey guys, love you guys on the pod.
Negative?
No, like really good stuff.
Okay,
but
great.
then in between, they're like, I love how Kylie just like drops name and location of the people, and I just want to say I'm sorry.
Yeah, but Kylie, like, they don't know that the stories are true. Like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
altering the locations, you're altering the names, you're changing the details.
No, but I just want to say that I have been doing stand-up since I was 18, and I've had such an unhealthy way of coping and sharing with people that, like, growing up on stage in that way, I felt like I, like, lost a lot of, like, normal people skills. And so I just, like, make content out of things, not because I'm like, TikTok. I'm just like, oh, I like when people relate to me on things because I
Yes, of
have
course,
a
of course.
I like how you're aware enough that you're like, yeah, I developed this like weird way of interacting with the world through doing stand-up from such a young age, but at no point have you been like, and I also have the capacity to change that. Because like,
Well, you didn't let me say that.
I
Well-
started younger than you, and I also had that problem, and then I grew.
we celebrate Kylie and we celebrate Sunny.
I'm
And
24, so
everyone.
Yeah, and
I will say,
and so am I.
I do think for Gen Z and Gen Alpha, the exposure to everyone sharing all the time on the internet, I do think has to have had an effect on what
Yeah.
people believe it isn't
and
acceptable.
I have a different barometer than most people, and that's just like I feel comfortable sharing things. that I don't know. I just feel like,
Well, I do too,
yeah.
but something that I see younger people do is like post videos of themselves crying on the
that
internet.
shit's weird.
And that is to me, I'm like, that gives me a sadness in my soul that they do not think to pick up the phone and call a friend.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I just also see like, I see videos of people being like, I just went through this breakup last week and here's this whole story about it. And I'm like, maybe sit with that
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
minute. Because like when you're right in the middle of something happening, you don't really have like that kind of clarity of being able to zoom out and really see the situation for what it is. And I do think that like, and I'm speaking from experience, like I blew up on the internet when I was like 20, and I ended up like, I didn't have like a lot of, fully formed social skills from like growing up on stage. And I would tell real stories about things that happened because they were funny and they would like kind of blow up. But in doing that, I like kind of self-destructed. Like I sabotaged a lot of my real life relationships by telling stories about things that were like situations that were like still developing, or
Right.
like things where people were like, hey man, I actually didn't want you to share that. And
Mhm.
also if I went through a breakup and then a week later I saw a video of my ex talking about it online, I would be A, embarrassed for them, and B, like that doesn't make me, that kind of burns that bridge in terms of like rekindling that. You know what I mean? I think that
Even
like,
as a friend.
even as a friend, I think that like doing it on stage is one thing because that doesn't really go anywhere in the same way, but the internet is fucking everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get too into this. I want to go to your gay sex story, but I think, and this happens on a micro level within communities. Since I got canceled, people have reached out to me, being particularly college students.
Yeah.
Have reached out to me being like, this is what happened to me. Like this picture that isn't representative of what actually happened, like kind of ruined my life. And I had to switch schools. Like, it's like crazy stuff. So yeah, be careful and mindful of yourself and other people. And Kylie changes all the names.
I do. But also, I want to say that connecting with people online is, I think, a good thing sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
Because I would never be able to meet some of the people that have had the same struggles as me.
Of course.
And then it's like accessibility too. People don't have the skills, like people don't have the tools or the time to kind of be able to feel like where you're saying you're at now. Like I feel like there's just like a lot on a person that is going through stuff through like stand up too, and just being like a woman and gay. It sucks in stand up.
Yeah. Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying that the internet isn't like a tool. Like, I think that a lot of like,
you have to remember that it is a tool though.
Right, exactly. I think that like the internet is a tool, but I do think that there's like kind of a blurring of the line in terms of like the internet is an amazing substitute for community when you don't have that in person. But I do think that like the benefits of in-person community, once I was in a position where I was able to find that, have like kind of made me realize that I was using the internet as a crutch almost, if that makes sense.
Listener, my favorite film festival is coming to a town near you. You gotta go to the Hump Film Festival. Now celebrating its 20th year, Dan Savage's Hump is a lovingly curated festival of short erotic films made by real people for real people. They take pride in celebrating all body types, shapes, ages, colors, sexualities, genders, kinks, and fetishes. These wildly creative, independently made short films included in Hump's lineups are submitted to them from around the world and span nearly every filmmaking genre. You're going to love it because it's sex positive and shame-free. Hump creates a space for exploring sexuality without stigma and reinforces the importance of open communication around sex and pleasure. And you know it's ethical. Hump shares a portion of all ticket sales with the filmmakers featured in its lineups, ensuring people are paid for the work they create and contribute. In addition, all films are eligible for up to $10,000 in cash prizes awarded by audience vote. to the favorites in categories of best sex, best kink, best humor, most creative, and best in show. Hump's 2025 spring lineup featuring 23 all-new, hot, hilarious, and deeply humanizing short films is touring more than 40 cities through May, including LA, DC, New York, Philadelphia, and Atlanta. Get tickets or stream on demand at humpfilmfest.com. Use promo code SEX at checkout for 10% off tickets or streaming passes. I want to get to your gay sex.
Yeah, big
This
time.
is all great stuff. I'm sorry to cut it off.
No.
No, go for it.
Go
Did
do
you have
gay
gay
sex.
sex this week?
I think so. I don't know.
Did you bake bread?
Some,
When you
I
crocheted?
think so.
no, sometimes you're in a long-term relationship and you see each other all the time and you're like, I probably had gay sex in the last week.
But I don't
know
know,
what I mean?
that I had it.
I can't like pinpoint the last time that I had gay sex because I'm having so fucking much of it. And
Shit.
So you're dating someone?
I'm dating someone, yeah. We've been dating for like a year and a half.
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm a huge fan. I love them a lot. And yeah, I know that I like look poly, but
Thank God you addressed it.
but I'm not. We're open, but I'm not like still like dating around with any type of like strong intention or anything. So
I do like that you, as an open person who is not poly, I do like that
Have to
you
clarify.
did clarify the two.
I think it's an
It's
important
very
distinction.
important for people who are open but not poly that we are putting our own little
It's
bubble.
a cultural difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do we call ourselves? Ethically non-monogamous? That can still be poly.
That's worse.
I think
feel.
Yes.
I think I just say open. I'm like
Yeah.
I'm in an open relationship.
Yeah.
But like polyamory implies that I'm trying to like be in
build 3
multiple
families.
relationships or whatever. Yeah. It comes across a little Mormon.
It implies that you're, still a guy and you work in tech.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Polyamorous makes it feel like I'm from Seattle and I just don't vibe with that. Yeah. Yeah. No, we've been together for a while. They're great. I remember there was a time like probably a year ago when we went to a party together and someone who lived at the house party was like had my dead name and my partner didn't tell me that was going to happen, but they knew. And I remember being like, why didn't you tell me about that? And they were like, oh, well, because I thought you would think it was funny. And I was like, dude, you're so right. And I did think it was super funny.
True
I thought it was
love.
super funny. And ultimately I was like, I am glad that you didn't tell me because that was kind of an awesome moment. And that was the moment when I was like, oh, this is like the one. You know what I mean? I'm like, you understand me
You
on like a
said that-
cosmic level.
You set that up so perfect.
Was not expecting.
I was like, oh my God, no. Well, can I ask you a question just
Yeah,
as
go
a
for
cis
it.
person? You're emotional labor warning, trigger,
Uh-huh.
I'm a horrible person. What does it feel like to bump into someone with the dead name? Like, I haven't really thought about that.
Doesn't.
Because I don't have to like bump into people hooking up with the one guy I kissed in 7th grade. You know what I mean?
I wish you did. I wish you did.
did.
It doesn't really happen to me because I don't know if you remember what it was.
I do. I've chosen not to
It
say
was-
it because I have some respect for you.
It's like pretty uncommon as a name.
Honestly, I feel like I know more women with that name.
That's wild.
Now.
That's funny.
Now. Yeah. I don't know. It just like, it doesn't come up. So I wouldn't know how it feels other than, and the house party, the guy wasn't even there. It was just somebody said his name and I was like, what the fuck? And then they were like, oh, like he's at the store or something. And I didn't, that's a bad excuse. He was at a different party, I think. But like, we didn't end up meeting. So I've still yet to meet someone with that name. So I wouldn't know. But I do think that I would probably have to have sex with them. I don't know.
Period. You're going back to being bi.
Yeah. I will. And write that down. I will be bi for anyone with my dead name.
Exception.
What about this guy that you went on a date with that you
Yeah.
messed up the date?
Yeah.
And you probably messed it up because I'm assuming, were not attracted to him.
No. You would think so, but no, this story is so embarrassing. So my ex and I dated from when we were 18 until when we were like 22. And so like we dated through my whole transition and eventually like opened up our relationship kind of towards the end, which I do think that like if you're in a relationship that's open the whole time, like valid. If you are in a long-term relationship and then you open it, that's just like microdosing a breakup.
It can be. I don't want to make a
Did I just step on your toes?
Not at all. Not at all. My relationship started open.
Yeah.
So long story about our relationship because we dated once before she was ready to get married.
Right.
Knowing that we would kind of break up at some point because of the pandemic.
Uh-huh.
You can't like date around during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And the second time when we got back together like a year and a half later, we started open.
Yeah.
And we were never open during the first round. So I've had like a closed relationship with Jen and I've had an open relationship with Jen.
Yeah. That's different.
But I just, I don't want people to feel judged. I believe it is possible in theory to open up a relationship in the middle. Has it ever
in practice.
Has it ever happened in practice? I am not sure. Listener, write in. You have to have been dating for more than 10 years for me to believe you.
Yeah, I've never
If you're a year into your relationship, that does not.
Maybe it's though like younger people now are like chiller with doing that. They're like, oh, I can have a partner that I love and also explore who I am because it's more chill now.
I actually think that's the version that frequently breaks up the most.
Yeah.
The version where one partner is straight
but
and the other is exploring
looking to like
themselves.
get married, right?
I've never seen it work.
I think Dan
even
Savage
once.
is the example that opens and closes his relationship regularly and they have been together for like a lifetime. So if you're looking for that, Dan Savage is an example.
And there we go.
At Dan Savage.
But the reason I'm using that as an example is because he's been with his partner for a really, really long time. We find out he's not with his partner anymore.
Yeah.
Pierce, can we find out whether or not? But like, I don't really know. I also think people who open their relationships, they don't talk about it a lot.
No.
Because there is so much stigma.
As someone that doesn't look for longevity in relationships, I will say, I still want love like a normal human being, Like people who aren't like, hey, I'm gonna get married to you and then have this really committed relationship and we're not gonna break up. Like, if I'm not like that, I'm like, damn, I can't have someone love me though.
So, Kylie,
no.
Are you
sorry?
Wait. Are you arguing that you want to be loved intensely for a few days?
I'm not saying for a few days. I'm just saying I've had my little soirees with people that I love, mutually beneficial, and then I go on my way.
But they're hurt, Kylie. They miss you.
They're not hurt.
They are. They're out there in love with you, and you're saying their name on the internet.
No, fake name.
Fake name.
Yeah, you know what they call me in the van, Heartbreaker Route 66.
Kylie,
love
Heartbreaker
that.
Route 66. Kylie.
Kylie.
Are you still seeing that girl that you met at a?
Oh no, that was in July of last year.
Was it?
Yes.
God, it's been a minute.
That was like in the summertime.
Well, I don't know.
Well, of course, Taylor's oldest time with her. I left to go back to my van and I was like,
you're like, babe,
Catch you on the flip.
I gotta go break my dog's legs. So tell me about this date with this guy.
Yeah, so we had just opened a relationship and I had just graduated from college. And so I was like, right after I graduated from college, I like knew I was gonna move. So I was like, I'm gonna spend some time with my mom before I move. And so I was like, I'll like plan to spend a month at home. And then my mom was like, oh, awesome. That means I have someone to take care of the dog. And then she left. And so so I was just in my tiny.
Did you say to her, hey, I'd like to spend time with you? Or were you just like, I'm gonna come home?
I was like, I'm gonna come home for these dates, and I did think that was implied, but maybe not. And no beef with my mom. I love my mom. But so I was home alone in my like tiny ass hometown for a month.
Mm.
And I was like scrolling on Tinder.
Where's your mom? Fucking Mexico?
She was in,
Where's
I think she was in Nashville.
okay.
A girls' weekend in Nashville. Love.
A girl's month in Nashville.
A girl's sublet in Nashville.
No, my parents are long distance. That's where my dad lives.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
We are having you back. Keep going.
Yeah.
And so I was like scrolling on Tinder, and like gay Tinder in a rural area is a fucking nightmare. It was matching me with people in Canada, and I was like, okay.
I gotta watch the dogs.
And I was right, and I was only there for like a week at this point, and so I was like, well, I need someone who's like close by, and eventually I matched with this guy who was in like the next town over, and by the time we matched and had like made plans, there was truly like one day before I had to leave. And so I was like, okay, like you'll come over to my mom's house this one day and we'll hook up or whatever.
Sonny, were you trans at the time?
Yes.
Is that scary? Because
Sonny has always been trans. Keep going.
He was
I meant
also
like presenting.
He was also oh wait, now pause. What does trans presenting
Yeah,
mean?
what does that mean, Kylie?
That's a good question.
Looking sick?
Yeah, I was
Did
hot.
someone
I
say
was
that?
right, I was hot actually.
I meant hormones, you know.
Yeah, I was on.
Well, like you came out as trans by
Yeah.
this time.
I came out as trans by this time. He was also trans, so it wasn't like
Okay.
super scary. I wasn't like trying to sleep with like cis straight men in my hometown because I would have gotten straight up murdered.
Yeah.
And so there was like only like one time when we were both free, and it was before his shift at work. And so he came over we like made pancakes together. We made strawberry pancakes together in my mom's
That's
house.
so trans.
Which is like-
First date. I mean,
First link. No,
I love
it is
that.
like the most like wholesome date for what I.
but also just like so lesbian. I know that he's not, you know, but
yes,
my God.
and it was for something that I
Strawberry.
ultimately did just want to be like a hookup, which is bad planning on my end. And
Who
so like
pulled out the pancake mix first?
that was the plan. Like we had
Oh.
established.
You talked about it in the texts.
Yeah.
Do you want to come over to my mom's house?
Do you want to come over to? I mean, I don't think he knew it was my mom's house. Whatever. So
Yes, he did. You are a 22-year-old and you're in a house.
yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. So he comes over, and I could have been like in tech. I'm not, but whatever. He comes
No,
over.
you couldn't have Sonny. And we all know
Maybe
that.
an influencer.
He came over, and we like made pancakes, and then he was like telling a story, and I was like kind of like I kept trying to like get closer to him, but my mom's dining room table is like really big. So I like it's like hard to get close to someone. And eventually I was like,
What is wrong with you? Stand up and sit down next to him.
I
I get
was
it.
I was 22.
I get
This
it
was my
so-
first date since having been in a relationship for like 4 years. This was my first time going on a date with a new person as a woman. I was nervous. And so I like kept trying to inch closer to him. And then eventually I was like, do you want to kiss? And he was like, sure. And then we kissed.
Wait, did one of you have to slide your belly on the table to get to the other side?
I did lean over the corner. Yes. And so
It's like jabbing in your side.
And so like I was like, do you want to kiss? And he was like, sure. And then we kissed, and then he kind of just like kept telling his story. And so then I was like,
Oof.
oh, like, do you want to like move over to the couch? And he was like, sure. But then was still like
Yep.
pretty involved in telling a story. And I was like, do you want to make out? And he was like, sure. And then we made out again. And then
Oh
he
my
kept
God. If you're
telling the
you're
story.
leveling up from like peck to make out in terms of like asking for consent, you know, like that should probably feel a little more natural.
I-
you know?
promise you this story gets worse.
Okay.
So we like make out on the couch for a second. It's also like, this is maybe a weird detail, but it's a white couch. I feel like growing up as a kid in a house with white couches does something weird to your brain.
Yeah, sure.
And so like we make out, and then he goes back to telling this story.
You have trauma about like not spilling anything on the couch.
Exactly. And so I am like trying so hard. I'm like really leaning into the gender dynamics. At one point, I hear the words, "It's just so nice to have like a big, strong man in the house," leave my mouth, despite the fact that he is like 5 inches shorter than me.
And you have a father.
He's in
My
Nashville.
father lives
but-
in Nashville. He's not in that house. And so, like, eventually,
That's brutal.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
actually
so-
deep cut.
and
That's deep
it
cut.
keeps getting worse. And it keeps getting worse.
Especially like knowing that you're a lesbian now. Like, oh, it feels like the type of thing I would have said looking for my one guy.
Yep. And so we are then talking about like trans stuff. And at this point, I had like been on HRT for a while, or like, like maybe like a little over 6 months. And we were talking about like breast development. And eventually I was like, well, we've been talking about it for a minute. Do you want to just like see him? And he said, I think I'm okay, but thanks for the offer. And then we like,
I'm so upset.
and then we like,
Thanks for the
we
I'm
like,
like truly so upset for you right now.
we like kept hanging out.
yeah,
And
no.
then we like, kept talking, and we made out a little more. And then he was about to leave, because again, this is in the morning because it's before his shift. And as he's about to leave, it's like, I get the impression that you don't want me to leave. And I said, yeah. And then
You betcha.
and then he went to work anyways. But
Oh my God.
but he was like, sometimes after work, I get drinks at the local bar.
Oh
And
no.
I was like, cool.
Oh God.
He leaves. I
How
leave
is
the
this
apartment.
getting worse?
I have plans. My plans are one of my best friends from high school, who like we dated in my like sophomore year, and I are gonna go run a beer mile. And so we go up to the local track, we run a beer mile, and I don't know if you've ever like ran a beer mile before, but
I
it's,
don't know what a beer mile is. I'm trying
do you
to
know
guess.
what a beer mile is?
You drink a beer and then you run a mile.
That's my
It's-
guess.
It's you drink a beer every lap.
oh my
Whoa.
god.
And so I
That's
like
crazy.
I
that
get
sounds like a great way to get me to vomit.
I did.
I mean, I
Yeah.
can't
I-
run a mile and I don't drink beer. I can't
No.
imagine
I-
anything worse.
I threw up and I got fucking blasted, because like exercise makes you, more likely to get drunk. And when you're drinking 4 beers in the span of like 16 minutes, you get pretty fucked up.
yeah.
And so I get blasted and I text him and I'm like, hey, let me know if you end up getting drinks at that bar.
Have you thrown up at this point?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I'm like-
you rallied.
I'm like, hey, let me know if you end up, because it wasn't like the throw up that you get from being too drunk. It was the throw up from like running a mile, and those are different,
Sure.
Yeah, one is way cuter.
Exactly.
This
that
puke-
one's skinny.
I'm
this
sorry.
This puke is skinny. This puke is athletic.
Throwing up from working out is hot.
I was
don't
wearing
make the
outdoor
rules.
voices when I made this puke. I was in Lululemon when I puked.
Nike's puke.
And
Just do it.
Lululemon is so generous. I was in my high school track clothes. And so I text him and I'm like, hey, if you end up getting a drink at this bar, let me know. Or I have alcohol back at my place. And he didn't text back. And then,
I'm actually a little mad at him. I'm mostly mad at you,
as you should be,
but I am a little mad at him at this point
Mixed
for
signals.
even offering that he would be at the bar and giving you hope.
I think that I don't know. I think he was just being nice. And then like a couple days later, he shoots me another text that's like, hey, I really hope your move went well. Because we had been talking about moving. And and that was it. And we didn't talk again. And I do think that ultimately the most regrettable part of this story, outside of everything that I did and the way that that makes me feel, is that like he was really sweet. Like wherever he is, I hope that he is having a
He is listening.
yeah, wherever he is, I hope that he's having a great
He's
time.
stuck in this town.
And also is like I hope he's having a great time and also like is forgives me for being insane. Like I didn't do anything wrong, but I did not
But that-
behave in a way that was
level
like
of
becoming of a
desperation
dignified
of like
young woman.
wanting to want this thing that maybe you
Yeah.
don't really want is such an off-putting like ick.
It wasn't just him. It was like you wanted that experience for the first time of like being with a man.
Yeah, like I was bi at the
Yeah.
time. I was identifying as bi, and
You're
so
like, I
like
gotta prove it, see if it
right.
feels good.
I
Right,
was
and
like-
underneath you don't have that natural chemistry at all.
No, and I also just think that like when you are trying, when you're like, I need to hook up with someone in the 2 days
And I
before
need it
I
stat.
leave my mom's house is like a crazy fucking situation to put yourself in from the jump.
Yeah.
Like I set myself up to fail so hard, and then I managed to somehow clear the bar for like, that is the most spectacularly awful I think anyone has ever done a first date. Like,
Texting someone after you vomited is also like such a if you don't believe that
I
people
think that's awesome.
don't like if you don't believe that people like that you were trying to essentially fix your sexuality in a way, right? If you don't think we're
Mhm.
trying, you've never who is texting someone after they vomit? Only
I mean, lots of girls in college.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I guess if you're like actively drunk, to me it just screams like I am
It's so-
trying too hard.
It's something else. It's much deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Beer run says a lot.
It was so desperate in so many ways, and all the little details are great. Like the fact that the beer run was also with someone that I like dated in high school is weird.
Oh yeah. And honestly, I can't get the image of you guys kissing over your mom's big table. It's killing me.
Also, them just being like, can I go back to what I was talking about?
Like it wasn't like he was like, "Can I go back to what I was talking about?" Because every time that I was like, "Do you want to make out?" He'd be like, "Yeah, sure," and then we would, and then he'd
feels
be
like
like,
a favor to you.
"Oh,
You know what I
Oh.
mean? I've had a girl kiss me like that once, and I was like, I will never,
I had
ever
that
again.
happen too.
Yeah, it's such a yucky.
It made me
feeling.
feel like I was like homophobic for a second. I was like, what the heck? I don't like that.
And like I promise to the listeners, I am like hot and cool now. Like I've outgrown that, you know? But it was rough. Being early in your transition is like, I think that you should get like put in a box. Like I think
Who
that,
did you
like,
vote for?
I think that
I mean, at the end of the day, all you wanted to be was in a box.
in a box. Oh, and hell yeah, brother. No, I think that like when you're early in transition, you really think like I've got it all down, and then you don't, and then it's just like it's like being 14, but you're 22.
You're
Yeah.
going through like a second puberty.
I was
Yeah.
going through a second puberty, and I had 250,000 TikTok followers who were watching
wow,
me
wow.
fuck up fucking constantly.
Yeah.
It's humiliating in ways that I can't like begin to express.
Not to be like
thank you
this
for sharing.
bitch, but
Yeah,
I'm like,
you're welcome.
it's real though. Like other trans people probably saw that and were like,
It's
oh,
real,
I
but
feel
not the names.
Right? But not that I actually didn't name a single name. I didn't name a single name in the
You
thing.
said your hometown location. Someone could probably find that.
I
on
also
Wikipedia.
didn't say that.
And
I say it.
Yeah.
Kylie, look at how she did that. Look
Yeah,
at how that
Sunny, you're
happened.
fucking amazing.
Thank you so much for being
Of
here.
course, thanks for having me.
That was great. So people can find you on TikTok anywhere.
People
and-
can find me anywhere on the internet at Sunny L Comedy. That's sunny like the weather, not like what Italian people call their sons.
and they can watch your special on
And you can
YouTube.
watch my special on YouTube. Yeah, it's called Queer Enough.
Well, thank you so much, Kylie. Anything you want to plug?
Kylie Vincent the first shows in New York and LA.
And then as always, patreon.com/WHGS. We're about to do a bonus. Maybe, I don't know if Sunny's staying. You want to stay?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Woo!
We're doing a bonus, thank you, with Sunny. And we have 4 of those a month. We have the 4 live shows that I stream every month. Oh my God. My therapist is dying special is going to be coming out on there.
Yay.
And also it just makes this possible. You can donate as little as $1. Didn't you guys love that one? That was a great one. That was a great one. Sunny's great. Make sure to go check out her special, Queer Enough, on YouTube. She's so funny and dark stuff. Really good. As always, come see me on tour. Get on my text alerts. AshleyGavin.com, patreon.com/WHGS. Alex, you looks like you have something.
Yes, I found some very consequential gay news.
Oh my God.
And I need to share it.
Oh
with
my
the
God,
people.
it's gonna be bad. I know it.
All right, guys.
Has there been
Avalanche signs gay.
what?
The Colorado Avalanche Hockey Club announced today that the team has signed forward Cooper Gay to a 2-year entry-level contract through
Alex,
the 2026.
Open up the window and jump out. Open up the window.
Gay, 23,
and
collected
jump out.
30 points.
That's how you know we're living in a
career high 35 games and served as assistant captain.
Shut up! Shut up, Alex!
The gay news.
No.
It's gay news.
No, hockey, unless it's women's hockey. It's not gay.
This is what Google gave me when
I was
going to
say,
news.
Google got rid of its DEI. If you search gay news, you get hockey, and that is homophobia.
It's Cooper Gay.
That's...
He's gay.
He's gay.
He's literally gay.
What's the deal with Cooper Gay?
He is.
Is he gay or is he a hockey player?
He is legally gay, according to his birth certificate. All right.
Is anyone listening to this? Because you made
He's
me do
legally
this,
gay.
listener. Years ago, you said the episodes end too abruptly, so I started doing this for you. Are you even here? Okay, goodbye.